So last Saturday, my roommate Dave and I decided it was finally time to organize our kitchen. You know, adult things. We started with the fridge, where we discovered a yogurt that had developed sentience, then moved on to the pantry, which was mostly just a graveyard for forgotten ramen packets. The last frontier was the spice rack, which up until this point appeared to be sorted by frequency of spillage rather than any logical system. Dave, ever the type A personality, suggested we alphabetize it. Honestly, I was just happy someone else was taking charge, so I handed him the cumin and watched the magic happen. It started off normal enough: basil, bay leaves, black pepper, when suddenly, Dave picked up the paprika, held it at arm's length like it was a dirty sock, and said, "Paprika doesn't belong here. In fact, it doesn't belong anywhere. It belongs in the garbage." I thought he was joking, but before I could protest, he launched into a passionate rant about how paprika is just the sawdust of spices and that it's only ever used when someone wants to make food look redder without actually adding any flavor. By this point, he was drawing a Venn diagram on the whiteboard of spices that matter and paprika, and there was no overlap. Things escalated quickly. Our neighbor overheard the commotion and came over, clutching her own jar of paprika, ready to defend its honor. Soon, there were people from 3 different apartments in our kitchen, all arguing about whether paprika's only purpose was to make deviled eggs look festive. Someone started a change.org petition. I found myself Googling "does paprika even taste like anything" and falling down a culinary rabbit hole. At one point, Dave tried to flush the paprika down the toilet, but that just resulted in red stains and a very awkward call to the plumber. In the end, after hours of heated debate, tears, and one impromptu taste test that convinced no one of anything, we reached a compromise: paprika would get its own shelf, labeled "witness protection." So now, every time someone asks why our spice rack skips from oregano to rosemary, I just point to the lonely jar of paprika on its own shelf and say, it's there for its own safety. Turns out, things get a little too spicy when Dave's around.